All right, hello everyone and welcome back to WITN First Alert Desk. I'm Amarachi Uche, the weekend anchor here at WITN. Now again, if you were here for the 6 p.m. newscast, the reason we're doing it over here is because we have college football playing all day today, as well as we have some ECU football going on. We'll get into that in a second with Duke and Lloyd. We also have Russell James, our meteorologist here, that will give you the update that you need on your weather. But first, I want to start off with some of the things that we have going on today. So one of the top stories right now that we're working on finding out more information for you is a person is now in custody after a Jacksonville Fire Department vehicle was stolen during a call. Now, today, just after 3 p.m., the Jacksonville Fire Department went to a structure fire at 413 Nelson Drive. While fighting that fire, officials say a battalion command vehicle was taken from the scene. Soon officials learned from the Pender County dispatchers that a vehicle identified as belonging to the Jacksonville Fire Department had been recovered at 4635 NC Highway 50. Now, a person believed to be in connection with the stolen vehicle has been taken into custody, and an investigation into the vehicle is underway. Now, the original structure fire that was happening at 413 Nelson Drive was resolved with no injuries, according to officials. And they're asking anyone with information related to this incident, they're asked to call the Jacksonville Police Department. And that number can be found on our website, WITN.com. Now, I want to head over to another quick story that we're working on for you guys right now. This one's out in New Bern, where 3 dogs were killed in a house fire. So just before 9 p.m., New Bern Fire Rescue went to a fire in the 1800 block of Hazel Avenue. That says Sunday. I apologize. It's supposed to say today because today is Saturday. So when crews arrived, one person was out of the home safely, but unfortunately 3 dogs did not survive. Officials say the fire is out and investigators are on scene working to determine the cause. Turn now to some things that are happening here around the East. We have Thanksgiving coming up this coming week, and there were some home-cooked meals that were given out at Granger Stadium parking lot this afternoon. People received home-cooked Thanksgiving meals from the Sisters United of Kingdom. Now, this organization was founded by sisters, and this marks their 13th year distributing community meals. And organizers say this year's event was more needed than ever. Haley Hollinger has that story for you guys. One second. If I can bring that story, there we go.
Free Thanksgiving meals made with more than just food.
Make it like we do it for our family.
So it's not just food, this is food cooked with love.
And passed out to those in the community. Sisters Victor Fields and Hattie King Hall, the founders of Sisters United of Kinston, started handing out Thanksgiving foods 13 years ago.
We was noticing that a lot of people in Kinston was homeless, going to the shelter, eating and everything. And God just put it on our hearts to start this.
Hall and Fields started the distribution with their own money and
we cook. Throughout
the years, they've gained more support, donations, and recipients. But this year, they felt it was even more important to be a resource for people.
We've been on this battle for quite some time, and this year we felt the need to come more so because of the things that's happening in the world. We want to demonstrate love and not hate, because only what you do for Christ will last, and that's
right.
Our motto.
And the public proved that that was the case with the biggest turnout to the community distribution event yet.
There's a lot. I don't know whether it had something to do with the government shutting down and cutting off the food stamps for the people. I don't know. This is bigger than we've ever seen it.
And the community was thankful.
Be thankful every day you breathing and living, because some people ain't able to eat on Thanksgiving, but I think this is a wonderful thing.
In Kinston, Haley Hollinger, WITN News.
Yeah, definitely a good story indeed as we approach Thanksgiving coming up. Now, we have another fun story that happened today, the Jacksonville Parade. I know some people were out there, including some of our own. Ooh, give me 1 second. So the Christmas spirit was on full display this Saturday as the Jacksonville Christmas Holiday Parade kicked off the festive season here in Eastern Carolina. Now, this parade marked 71 years the Jacksonville Onslow Chamber of Commerce has been putting on the parade. The theme of this year's parade was a storybook Christmas and featured classic Christmas characters leaping from the pages of beloved holiday books. So the parade was filled with holiday magic as crowds gathered to watch multiple floats, including Santa Claus riding on top of a fire truck. You can see him right there. Now, WITN's very own Courtney Bunting and Dave Jordan joined the festivities at Western Boulevard. You can also see our very own Stephen Glover hanging out of a car and waving to the people there. And the live coverage was brought to you by First Light Home Cam. So definitely a fun time indeed that was had, and I'm sure that everyone out there had a lot of fun. Now, turning to, it could have been some fun news, but unfortunately it's not. ECU played against UT San Antonio today, and the game ended with a loss to ECU 58-24. Dugan was here earlier talking about what this game meant to ECU, and he has more for us right now.
Coming off an emotional victory last Saturday, a win remained crucial for ECU today. I'm Dugan Lloyd. Welcome to sports, where the Pirates entered the Lone Star State in a four-way tie for the conference. Since joining the American in 2023, UTSA had not lost at home to a conference opponent. ECU trying to snap that streak in the Alamo Dome, but easier said than done. The lefty Owen McCown gave the Roadrunners first blood on this connection to A.J. Wilson. Then next UTSA drive, Greenville, we have a problem. That's Houston Thomas on the score as the Roadrunners were playing bigger than their 5-5 record. With a 14-0 lead entering the second quarter, McCown and company weren't satisfied. David Amador II took the screen 45 yards to the house to make this a 3-score game. The Pirates offense had been held quiet to that point. They finally get a glimpse of hope here, but not so fast. J.C. Connor coughing up the football. On the day, ECU had 3 turnovers. With that primo field position, San Antonio would march right down and opt for the halfback draw this time. They scored 34 first-half points, while ECU did not find the end zone until the third quarter. In a tough pill to swallow, ECU fell 58-24 this afternoon, essentially dashing their conference championship aspirations with a second loss in the American. Now over in the ACC, Duke won the big rivalry game this year 32-25 as UNC will miss bowl season in their first year under head coach Bill Belichick. Then closing in basketball, the Hornets dropped their 12th game of the year at home as James Harden torched them. The Beard dropped 55 points in the 15-point win. Certainly not the day Pirate Nation envisioned when they woke up this morning, but the silver lining is still bowl season. Win or lose next Friday, they've already clinched and can win their 8th game of the year against Florida Atlantic next Saturday.
Definitely not the win that ECU was anticipating, Russell. I know we wanted to, definitely not the game we had. We wanted to win that for sure. But here-wise, weather-wise, we have some good news, right? Or is it not so good news?
We do have some good news. We're going to be seeing another full day of sunshine as we go into your Sunday. But on top of what you were mentioning before, ECU, you're going to win some games, you're going to lose some. But the good thing about a loss is it allows the team to kind of regroup, recover, and kind of build upon those stronger or those weaker points. So I think, the Pirates will still have a shot of at least winning at least one more game before the season's completely over. And, they still have a shot. So, still have hope within the Pirates. At least they were able to eat some of that deficit a little bit. So,
that's true.
There's some ground there.
Yeah.
But again, as we switch gears from sports to what we're seeing right now in the Weather Center, at least for the most part, we've seen a fairly quiet day, though there's been a few spots that have seen a few isolated showers. Big winners today on rain. New Bern picking up over a half an inch. That's impressive, especially from Goldsboro. And there's one lone cell that was becoming a cluster at times that produced some of those heavy downpours and gusty winds all the way up from portions of Wayne County, and then it made its way all the way down towards the south and east into Pamlico County. That little blue strip that you see are areas of at least a ½ inch of rain or more. And so as we go through the rest of this evening, we're going to be seeing partly cloudy skies, and it was a very warm afternoon. We're seeing temperatures into the high 70s. As we go into Sunday, we're going to start off the day fairly dry, 55 degrees, climbing up to about 63 by around noon, 64 by 3 p.m. in the afternoon. Similar story for the coast, and then temperatures will begin to drop down into the high 50s with a northwesterly wind at around 3 miles an hour. And speaking of 57 degrees, several spots are sitting at that level right now. We're also seeing temperatures north of Highway 264 sitting into low 50s. We are running a touch warmer in a few spots than it was around this time yesterday, but there are some influence, or there is an influence of that front beginning to take shape as it begins to slide its way into eastern North Carolina. Eventually high pressure is going to be building in from the north and the west. That's going to be building and supplying the cloud cover and sunshine as we go into your Sunday and Monday, and you're not really going to be feeling any humidity these next few days, but notice that little uptick there late Tuesday going into Wednesday. There are signs we'll have some low to mid-level moisture coming in across the area, and then beyond that, we'll be seeing a cold stretch arrive across the east as a strong dip in the jet stream arrives. That's going to bring in some of the coldest air of the season, especially at night. Notice these temperatures going from the 40s these next few nights all the way down into the mid-20s as we head into Black Friday. So a lot to consider, especially if you're going to be out and about both on Thanksgiving and on Black Friday. And as for our high temperatures, average high typically should be around the low to middle 60s. We'll see highs going from the mid 70s down into the high 40s. So while we'll watch that closely, another thing that we still keep an eye on, even though there's not much happening in the Atlantic, is hurricane season. 8 more days until the end of the 2025 season. And I have some great news. Tropical cyclone activity is now expected over the next 7 days, all across the Atlantic, Caribbean, and even into the Gulf. So if you were thinking about booking any vacations towards the Bahamas or down towards Jamaica or even into the Lesser and Greater Antilles, you are good to go, at least for the meantime. So short term, enjoy the temperatures, 59 degrees, scattered clouds in Greenville, even seeing temperatures around 57, northeast wind around 8 miles an hour. Next big impact showing the rain set to arrive as we go mostly towards around late Tuesday night and early Wednesday. You see the rain beginning to move in. We're not expecting a washout, hit or miss showers, maybe a rumble of thunder to add to the mix. Overall, this is your 8-day forecast. Not looking too bad, but a lot of ups and downs in the forecast. We're going from a 65 on Sunday, 67 on Monday, and then 72, and then we're crashing back down into the 40s. 26 there Friday night and early Saturday. So rude awakening for some folks that are not really a big fan of the cold temperatures, but this is what we sign up for when we live here in eastern North Carolina.
No, that is very true, because I know we always talk about North Carolina fluctuates, and you see that 72 on Tuesday, Wednesday, and then a 26 Friday and into Saturday. And I will say, I know, a lot of people will go out and hunker down for the Black Friday shopping either like Thursday night when they're finished and stuff. So I know when they're going to be out there in the early morning, it's going to be a little chilly for them, right?
Yeah, it's going to be chilly indeed, and it's always one of those type of patterns where you want to have at least multiple layers throughout the day. It can be cold in the morning, warm in the afternoon, and vice versa, warm in the morning and then cold by nightfall. So it's best to always have the layers, be prepared to dress for 2 seasons, as my mom always used to tell me, and so forth. But again, that's our weather here in the East.
Well, we gotta love it. We gotta love it. All right, thank you, Russell. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. Tomorrow we should be on our back to normal schedule. Fingers crossed. I know we still got some NFL games going on tomorrow, so it might fluctuate with our 11 p.m. But join us again back here at our regular anchor desk and our weather wall for Russell. But for now, we'll see you guys later. Thank you so much for joining us at the First Alert Desk.
Thank you.